Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Regina and Friends Crime Chat. Today we're going to discuss why didn't NewsNation ever follow up on the BK T-REV Dave phone call. I'm Regina and I'll be your host, and here with me we have Sammy today, and we'll discuss this even further right after this. Hello, 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 and welcome. Hey, Sammy, how are you doing?
Awesome. How's it going?
It's
How's everybody
going.
doing?
Doing good. It
Oh,
has
Lord.
been It has been a crazy, crazy past couple of weeks on the YouTube streets. What do you think about that?
Oh, it has been. It has
It
been.
has
It's
been.
been absolutely, well, I can't say it's unbelievable, but we truly have issues going on throughout our community.
Yeah. And what's worse than that is these issues that have spawned in the YouTube true crime community, and some of the things that YouTubers have done has also spilled over into the major news outlets. And that's kind of what we're fixing to discuss here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and um it's just it blows my mind because something else I've learned through all this is there. Okay, news, we're just going to say we're going to show what happened real quick, and then we'll talk about it a little more. I think I need to give everybody a little bit of backstop on what's going on in case y'all have
Yeah.
never heard of T-REV 757. I used to be a moderator on his channel. I was a moderator for a long time. Sadly, if you go back to like his first Kylie Rodney video, you're going to see me in the chat and stuff. My name is Regina Wright, and you'll see me as his moderators. Same photo, same picture. Everyone knows it's me. I can't deny that. But I'm glad I'm no longer a part of that because some issues have happened that have come to light. He has been exposed for planting callers, saying that they were related. Their name was Rick Armstrong, and they were related to, or they knew Stephen Stearns personally, all kinds of stuff. And the thing is about this, that the reason it's important to cover this is whenever these calls and stuff get made, people actually report it. They report it to law enforcement, and while law enforcement, instead of going out here and actually following important things in these cases, are being forced to deal with this kind of fake news reporting, fake drama, planted collars, things like that. And they get tips on it, and it's awful because it's affecting the victim. Do you know how it's affecting the victim? It is taking resources, time, and the people that are investigating their case away from their actual case. And I think it's important that we all hold ourselves to a higher standard. That's the reason I don't report on a lot of things that other people are reporting on, because all I have is hearsay. Now, if I have receipts on something to show you why I think the way I think about something, that's one thing. But to completely create a scenario and a false narrative and not represent that it is completely false, or to represent that you overheard it. If it's hearsay, say it's hearsay. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. But to actually plant and fake stuff and it get um, all this attention and end up causing tips to be called in to law enforcement, and them have to, by mandate, go look into these tips. Every time they get a new one, they got to go look into it. Okay. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yes, these are real people missing and unalived. It's important to be respectful and use LE info. And I just learned that so well this week in another case that I'm covering, actually. All it takes is a phone call. Follow up yourselves. Don't go on hearsay. Don't go on hearsay. Even if people say, oh, I'm their family, yada, 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 don't go on hearsay. Do the research yourself. That's what I had to do this week. And when I did, I was blown away after talking to a law enforcement officer, but that's another episode. That's another show. But News Nation, okay, let's show what happened. I'm going to show what happened real quick. This is what News Nation did. Okay. This is what they aired.
Within hours of Kohberger's arrest, a YouTube clip from a crime podcast emerged, immediately went viral. Okay. The users of the podcast were saying, hey, this is Brian Kohberger. I didn't believe it until we interviewed someone who knew Brian Kohberger in high school. She heard the clip and said that is definitely his voice. Now, is she a certified expert? No, but it made me take another look. Take a listen for yourself.
One thing that every single one of them, I feel like has asked me is, if you were going to kill somebody, how would you get away with it?
Now, again, it's him talking about the murders as removed from them. The host of that podcast initially was unsure as well whether it was Brian. Now believes it was likely him. He goes by T-REV, so we'll call him that as well. And he joins us now. Thank you very much for coming with your splendid YOLO hat on. You only live once. Good choice. So, Brian Kohberger, you believe he called into the podcast. Why?
I mean, with friends reaching out and saying, or people like her that spoke out that said that it's, that's him 100%. I mean, without me hearing his voice, I'm like, it's unconfirmed. But if you got friends that knew him and grew up with him saying it's confirmed, then I gotta say, hey, yeah, this is probably Brian Kohberger. But I did send it into the FBI. I did clip that. I also went through 80,000 phone calls, found the number, sent it into the FBI as well, and they have that, and hopefully they get down to that information.
Good. Do you know that they are in receipt of it? Did they come back to you at all?
I know they have it. I've never got an email back yet.
All right. Well, good. You did what you're supposed to do. Now, what struck you about the kinds of comments that this man made to you on the podcast?
Oh, man. Why would 10 people come up and ask you how to get away with murder? I mean, make that make sense to me. Why would 10 human beings like ourselves come up and say, hey, how would I get away with murder? And that's nobody's going to do that. And realistically in life, who is coming up to me or you or anybody that is around us right now?
That is a very good question, Sammy. Oh, hold on. Yeah, we're gonna get to that, Sammy. We're gonna get to who the caller really is. Yeah, we've got that too. Hold on a second. It's coming.
Now and asking us, hey, how do you know how to get away with murder?
And he was saying that people kept coming up to him and saying that.
Okay, so sadly, everyone, if you will look, I would like to show you something. This is the only place I could find. And I was lucky enough, actually, I didn't find this. Sammy did and sent me this because News Nation has evidently removed this clip of T-REV 757 with this Dave phone call from their stream. Let me demonstrate this to you real quick. Hold on a second. Let me stop sharing this. Start sharing this. Look, okay. Watch this. This is on T-REV's channel, right? Wait, let me hold on a second.
It should be in your DMs.
Did you send it to my DMs?
Yeah, it was in the DMs.
Okay, hold on just a second. That's the wrong one, you guys. I apologize. Give me just a second. Oh, oh no, I didn't. Okay, I didn't close the wrong one. It's in my DMs. I thought I closed the wrong one. I didn't.
Don't do that. You scare me.
Okay. You sent it in my DMs. Right here. This is the NewsNation site, right?
Well, no, this one, yeah, the one above that was, but I couldn't get that to work for me. Good
Yeah, I
luck with
couldn't
that.
either. I kept, and not only that, but every time I tried looking it
You
up on
said,
their network thing, it wouldn't pop up. It wouldn't pull up.
uh, I think, I don't know if Lo sent you something, but
Okay.
the one below it is a TikTok and it's of the actual call, I think.
Yeah. I don't want to share the actual call because like literally it's nothing but fake. Like I have to suspect after Smoke coming forward, that guy Smoke coming forward, as you can see right here, I watched that live stream by the way, coming forward and planting this phone call and the experiences I have with T-REV and the receipts I showed on experiences, why I believe things others said. And I brought that to the table and Granny's watching. I and if you and we're fixing to watch, hold on just a second. We're fixing to watch the second part of this. Low 12, you sent that to me in a message, right? I'm looking. I'm an idiot. No, I can't find it, Lolo. I don't see it. Did you post it to the group?
Oh, maybe in general.
Here's the link that you click and nothing ever happens.
No, no. Look above where Lo posted it. See if it's there.
Wait a second. Wait a second. I found a link.
On Hidden True Crime? No. I don't know.
Okay. It's showing on this.
Okay.
It's showing on this NewsNation link for me. Well, now it says it's working on my NewsNation link. It wasn't earlier when
Well,
I
good.
tried.
Nope.
Well, that's weird. I know we all didn't three share the same dang experience and then it just repeat. I mean, just fix itself automatically, right? That really just happened, didn't it?
I don't know. You gotta
That
try it
is
to see.
crazy. Hi, Chris. It's good to see you. So, okay. Now, you ask a very important Sammy question. Who is Dave? Well,
Right?
I happen to know the answer to that question.
Ooh.
Uh, isn't it? Where is there it is. Oh no, did I close the link again? I closed the link again. Give me just a second. I've got so much going on. I'm going in so many different directions with this right here. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Lord have
Oh,
mercy. I know. I'm having a one brain patooter after another. It's wonderful. Here we go. Okay, low 12 is the one that sent me the truth and transparency. Yes, there it is. No,
yes.
that's hidden true crimes. No, that's it.
Okay.
That's where truth and transparency did it. Okay, here it is. Okay, hold on a second. This is courtesy of Hidden True Crime. I don't know why I kept saying Truth and Transparency did it. I thought Truth and Transparency. Wait a minute. Am I confusing something here, Low 12? What's going on with my
Will you
brain?
play it? Play it. Play it, please.
Well, I have to pull it up first. Just calm down.
Come on, man. I'm like dying over here.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I know. Here we go. Okay.
Everyone, thank you for your patience. We set this live up, and there was more that we had to discuss and some technical difficulties, and we really want to go live tonight, though. We did not want to wait with what we have uncovered and figured out here at Hidden True Crime. And the basis of this is, most of you know, we've even talked about it on our channel, the speculation that's been going on for 2 months that a podcaster named T-REV received a call from somebody that, and then it circulated the web far and wide within the true crime community that this person was likely Bryan Kohberger. After Bryan Kohberger was arrested, friends of Bryan Kohberger came forward and said, this sounds like Bryan Kohberger. Voice analysis, you can find plenty of them all over, excuse me, the YouTube and the web. It's made national news, people wondering if indeed this could possibly be Bryan Kohberger that called into T-REV's channel. Dr. John and I even discussed this, what it would mean if it was indeed Bryan Kohberger, and we weren't able to confirm it then the night we discussed it on Friday. We had to say, we are not sure, but we want to talk about this and what it means. And so
she's having a hard time composing herself and not cracking herself up. Did you just catch that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's cracked up by this.
Well, I think somewhere inside of her, she knows the probabilities of this actually having happened. You know, come on now.
Right? Okay.
So we want you to know that we have actually, at Hidden True Crime, been working around the clock to try to confirm this in every possible way. We have been using resources. T-REV has been willing and helpful as well with some information. We've included the Hidden True Crime team on this. We thought if we can find visual snow posts on the web, we can certainly put a rest to this question mark that everybody's had for a very long time. You know what I feel like right now, by the way? I don't know if you ever watched Maury Povich, John, but I feel like we're in the Maury show where they're doing like the DNA envelope and they've got the results.
Right.
And
you feel like
you're about to open it.
You're about to announce somebody's baby daddy.
Yeah. I'm like kind of like, you know, just hanging on to this. We have the answer. We have the answer.
You have the manila envelope.
Yeah, Fiddle DD says that they are on the edge of their sheet. Excuse me, sheet. I just read someone else's in Australia. Forgive me. It's late. Yes, you are the father, Amy in Boston says. So okay. I will not state any further. We have the answer here at Hidden True Crime. I need an envelope to open. I don't have an envelope. The final answer is, it is not Bryan Kohberger. John and I have now talked to the gentleman that called into T-REV's podcast in December. We've talked to him now a couple times. We've gotten to know him. I cannot tell you what we talked about in our conversations. John can confirm that we confirmed the information that he relayed. We've confirmed the voice. We've confirmed the phone number. We've confirmed a background check. So we won't dig into his privacy anymore by sharing anything that we talked about, right, John? Like we're gonna keep that.
Right. So we know it's not Kohberger. We've definitely ruled Kohberger out. I'm sure the FBI may have done this a while ago, but speculation was still rampant. So we wanted to finally try to get an answer to this. And as you said, that there was some compelling evidence here. Casey Arntz, who was a friend of Kohlberger's for 4 years, thought it was him. There were people on TikTok doing voice comparisons. They thought it was him.
And it doesn't help. It doesn't help that there's a gag order on FBI. So everyone's like, well, I'm sure the FBI's figured it out, right? But how do we know? And certainly the true crime community deserves to know what's going to assess this case.
Yeah. And also the caller, whom we will now call Demo, the caller was insightful. The caller actually, as I pointed out, the caller had a pretty good handle on Kohlberger's motivations, and so that was compelling too. In other words, without even looking at the voice, I think there was some behavioral evidence that it could have been Kohlberger. So
yeah, Julie Holden is stating that they'd love to know why you made some crazy comments
so I'm
about
gonna
Tennessee
speed this
McKibben
up,
asking how to commit the perfect
the drum
murder.
roll is done. Let's get to Dave.
hello, Demo.
Hello.
This is
the big reveal. You are the caller that everybody's been speculating about for the last 2 months. Thanks for joining us.
Will the real Demo please stand up? Hello.
You can call me Mad Dog too. That's the other name I go by is Mad Dog.
That may not help your case, by the way, but okay. All right.
Well, I'm not defending myself for anything because
no, I know.
All I did was called a stupid YouTube thing, so that's it.
Okay, so this is where I have to pose a question, and I want to know if anyone else out there has the answer to this. Yep, absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. The FBI has to be sick of all of us and our tips. Exactly. Exactly. And what I'm pointing out here is what's worse is this is becoming a systemic problem, even on our big news networks that most of us depend on for factual, vetted information. Now, here's the problem I have with all of this. How does NewsNation Cuomo cover this phone call after it goes big news and all of this? How do they not follow up on it? First of all, before they put T-REV on their show and covered it, but they didn't even follow up on it after it was exposed and debunked. That's the part that I don't understand. And you know what? I've seen it again. I've seen it again recently in another case, in the Sebastian Rogers case, watching the Channel 4 that I covered yesterday. A news reporter going to sit there and tell everyone with that what she's reporting is that Katie Proudfoot called 911. And Katie Proudfoot validates that, but there's no follow-up on it. It's just they called 911. Well, come to find out, guess what, everyone? They never called 911.
Nope.
They called the sheriff's department, remember?
A specific extension, right?
Yep. So tell me, how does this keep happening? And then if you'll remember, not that long ago, we were covering what's his name, Sammy, right there in your town. You did great. You went and you were helping search for him and stuff, driving through town.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Drake.
Was the name Drake? Something Drake. His last name was Drake. I'm having a brain potato. But anyways, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Something Lee Drake.
They kept reporting that he was a murderer and had committed these crimes, and he was a murderer and he committed those crimes, but from different sources, to where nobody even knew how many victims there actually were. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I was like, when I was covering it, I was like,
oh yeah, it was so contrived. And the thing was, I mean, we were trying to keep track with it, find out and keep tracking, and because this was like very quickly happening. All of the deaths that he caused were done all within a week.
Mhm.
of him being looked for out here. So yeah, but getting this reporting to be accurate, you know, how do you?
Right. How do you get to this level of inaccuracy reporting? Do you remember? Um, I had a little incident myself this week with someone that was calling, feeding me information about a story. What all did it take for me to completely debunk it? What did it take for me to be able to handle that and not put out
Research.
misinformation? But no, no, how easy was the research? What all did I have to do? You remember what I did? All I did was pick up the phone and call the lead investigator myself. All it took was a phone call. 30 minutes of my time. How can a big news network push something like this out just because it's, you know what, it went viral? You guys, just because it goes viral doesn't make it true. It means that he had a lot of people pushing it, and he did.
I think people get all up into this YouTube and get
Mhm.
excited over news or over something that's just recently come out and they want to jump on it so dang bad, they don't bother to take the time to do the research or the work involved to truly find facts before they go putting it out. Number one, then you've got these people out here that like to fake stuff just so they do get the people to come watch their channel. Um, and it's discrediting all of us, actually.
It's discrediting the whole true crime community. I mean, we just seen it with another YouTuber this week. Come to find out, there's so many spider webs involved with that. I ain't even gonna bother mentioning it because nobody knows 100% what's going on there and so deep.
Well, in a nutshell, many major mainstream media will now be distancing themselves from YouTubers and the creators in true crime because all of the nonsense, drama, and dishonesty.
Hello, lovely Bratty. Let me catch up here on comments for just a minute. Hey, Connie, good to see you, beautiful. And Bratty, little me. I'm glad you guys made it. I'm reading y'all's comments now. Yes, Bratty, we sure are. She's talking about the Proudfoots. Exactly. Exactly. And turns out they never called 911, but that was reported the first time we heard the story. Let me pull it up real quick and I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. Um, hold on a second. Give me just a second. It's in my YouTube feed.
We got it right
Uh-oh.
there.
Where?
What were you playing?
I'm fixing to show. Oh, we've already. That's what I'm saying. Look and listen to this guy. Sammy, I done got ahead of myself. That's what's going on here. So this is the Dave guy. Let's finish so y'all know it's him. Let's finish it up just a little bit because he does the thing.
Talk about a little bit about your interest in calling in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So earlier in the day, I was watching stuff on my phone about the Moscow murders, and I came across T-REV, and like he had people calling in, and he seemed like he was pretty cool, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, great. And then I went about my day and did some stuff, and then later in the night, I I was hanging out at my house and drinking some beers, and his channel came up again, and then it seemed like not much was going on, so I called in. And that was it. So
Okay.
basically, the call that has people all up in arms was just a dude hanging out at his house, having some beers, going, I wonder if this is why this happened. That
Mhm.
was it.
Yeah. Well, I give you credit. You had some good insights into the case. So your
Well,
call was interesting. I think part of the problem was that your call was interesting enough that people took it seriously.
so I'm trying to get my camera right here. Well, I honestly, I was embarrassed about my insights. To be honest with you, it's like, well, it seemed kind of silly. So
Yeah. Tell us, well, I'm going to ask.
Okay.
So I'm just repeating.
So there's that. It was just debunked. Dave was not Brian Koberger, you guys. That did not happen. It being Brian Koberger calling into the T-REV 757 show.
Yeah.
And if anyone out there can remember, because I was in Rev Gang, but I never was quite sure how it went viral and it got pushed that it was Brian Koberger that called into the show.
Well, T-Rev never said a word about it not being him. I mean, truthfully, he made it seem as though he thought it could have been too.
Yes, every time. Listen, after Brian Koberger got arrested, when we were all in chat talking about Dave, I would be like I asked a question one time. I was like, "So, did you ever find out who that Dave guy was? Did you ever, figure out if it was Koberger or not?" Because T-Rev pushed it all because T-Rev said that Brian Koberger's friend pushed it, right? Said that um it was Brian. Someone that actually knew Brian Koberger said it was Brian Koberger. That's what he pushed to all of us as moderators and the people that were on his Discord. So here's my problem with that. Whenever I said, "Did you ever get any information or, where's Dave? Did he ever call? Where's Dave?" or something like that, it got posted, "Dave's not here. Dave is in jail in Latah County." That was the response, insinuating that, in fact, Dave was Brian Koberger.
Right. But that was easy for them. That was easy for that creator to let that be an assumption and to use little phrases to kind of shove people into that direction of leaning towards, oh, that was Koberger. Yeah. And not really exposing the truth, not really doing the research and the homework. I mean, come on.
Well, it didn't just happen uh with Dave. It didn't just happen with this guy.
Right. Oh,
What about
well.
Angel Girls? What about Angel Girls?
So much more has come out. Yeah.
You know? What about Rick Armstrong? That AKA that guy Smoke. What about screenshots showing T-Rev putting someone up to that? And then go back and watch the full if you're interested in it. Low 12, if you wouldn't mind posting that link for Hidden True Crime, I would greatly appreciate it because that is who debunked Brian. Yep. What makes me even madder, Brady, is now looking back on other things that happened while I was a part of Rev Gang that I knew. It's like as soon as I caught on to something that wasn't legit, that I felt wasn't legit, I got kicked before I could really look into anything else deeper. And I know a lot of people suffered that same fate from Rev Gang, or they left because they seen that stuff happening themselves that were members. Thank you, Low 12. Here's the link, you guys, for Hidden True Crime if you want to watch that full Dave interview. But in that interview, Dave is not nice about T-Rev. And I still, for the life of me, don't know how that went so viral. Because whenever that guy called into the show, I never for 1 second actually thought, "Oh, this is Brian Koberger calling into the show."
No, me neither. But it very, very quickly was transformed into an assumption.
An assumption that went so big it was covered on a major news network who failed to follow up on it themselves whenever it was proven to be false and let T-REV sit on their show and say, I think it's him. That's the part that gets me. Y'all know whenever that Rick Armstrong called in, aka that guy Smoke, that T-Rev said, hey, do you know what would be hilarious if you called and pretended you knew Stephen Stearns?
Yeah.
Right? What's worse is there were people, again, just like in this Dave phone call, that actually called law enforcement and reported these things. Literally, it takes taxpayer dollars. Let me explain this to you. It takes taxpayer dollars to fund. Well, hello, lad. Good to see you. It takes taxpayer dollars to fund investigations. Okay. Victims fall in that category and their families of taxpayers at one time or another. Their families are still fall in that category of taxpayers. Then you have the fact that it's taking literal time away from the victim whenever they have to go look into this false stuff, these false narratives, because people are calling in with tips and reporting it.
It's disgraceful, all in the name of getting more
Clicks
attention, more
and
clicks,
views.
more views. Yeah. And it's sadly the way that many creators operate. But I'm going to tell you right now, this here has discredited our entire community.
It absolutely has. It absolutely has. And not only that, but it's been worse than that. You know why, Sammy? Because now, guess what?
What?
Now we have major news outlets covering fake and planted collars from YouTubers.
Yeah.
So now it has even reached, and you're right. These news outlets are going to distance themselves. What did you say about it earlier? Explain it how you explained it, because it was much better than how I can say it. About the news sources, the news outlets and stuff going to distance themselves from YouTubers or something like that. Sammy.
I'm here. I'm trying to get a sip of Walt's drink. Sorry.
Is it good?
Orange.
Yummy.
I think it's Tang, dude. Anyway, I just feel like honestly, our community has taken
Yeah.
a major blow, and how will we recover from this? I don't know. But my advice is start getting real. If you're going to go out there and be something that you really truly want to disseminate important information that's real, that's true, do it. But if you're going to be part of this drama and the lies and the nonsense, you need to put a clown symbol or something really that says you're not serious before you come stepping out here.
Well, here's the part that gets me on it a little bit worse. If you're going to cover it and put it out there and bring attention to it, why can't you follow up on it if you find out that it is completely something different than what you thought? Why can't you follow up on what you put out? You know what I mean?
Real true journalists do. I know that for a fact. But I think at some point you got to remember who's conning the con, right? You got to know the game.
Mm. Chris Mahoney says, I don't know. I saw an E Network show on Bob Saget's death that made the internet true crime community look like whack jobs can't be worse than them.
Brady,
Brady says,
it's not hard. Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I'm with Brady says, uh, is actually angry at a few YouTubers right now for different reasons. Just saying. Absolutely, Brady.
Me
Absolutely.
too. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed because I really saw some potential in some of the channels that maybe they were coming around to our true crime community that really truly cares. And it turns out to be a bunch of malarkey and
Yep.
a bunch of hating and
Yep.
just disgusting behaviors.
Yep. Yep. And you know what? These are the same people that used to tell me, don't go watch these people because they're just haters and they're trying to make me look bad. And then I find out, you know what? There is actually a need for those people that do actually talk about this, or else there wouldn't be a platform to find out what's going on in these cases and with these YouTubers like T-REV and the other one that recently left. Y'all know who I'm talking about. There were several, actually, there are several YouTubers that left, and I think it's going to be a better place here on YouTube without them, sadly.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to be mean or talk bad about people, but there's one more that needs to go, I think, that is a blight on the YouTube community. And that, listen, I've had my own experiences. I gave you receipts whenever I went on Granny's Watching. I told y'all the truth about who T-Rev was. Okay. I told you the difference between hearsay, and I told you the difference between what I knew to be true. But that the reason I put any faith in the hearsay is because what I know to be true about T-Ref 757. That is why I believe what Smoke said. He brought receipts, screenshots. I believe him because of my own experiences and what I showed you that T-Rev has done to other people. It was no longer just my grievances either. It was what was happening to victims and their families. And that I think all of us need to stand up and not allow. What do you think, Sammy?
I couldn't agree with you more.
How do you feel about all of it?
Well, I'm really disgusted by the whole thing, but everything always comes out in the wash. You know this.
Hmm.
None of them, even if they are still coexisting around their platform and doing their thing, in spite of all this garbage, your crap's going to come out in the wash. It always does. It always will. There's no hiding it. Your true intentions will show. And to be quite honest with you, true crime community is truly a bunch of people who are of every race, of every gender you want to think of, and we all are human beings. We're all
Yep.
human beings. And let's start looking out for each other. Let's start keeping the important information out there. And once you get a whiff that there's drama and chaos and nonsense and name calling and backstabbing, backbiting, walk away. Walk away. First whiff you get, because I'm telling you, that's what these channels are about. And there's no hiding it. They can't hide it. I have family of all kinds of nationalities in my immediate family. And I don't care what anybody says. That does matter to me. And I don't want to hear the racism. I don't want to hear it. So, you know, I don't care who says, oh, just because you got family or friends or a spouse who's doesn't mean you're not racist. Well, whatever. I care about my family, all of them. And it does matter. Because in my eyes, I see human beings.
Right.
So
Eddie,
get over
there's the link.
yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Eddie, there is the link, my man. Also, this is an open panel, and I'm taking phone calls about this from you, the viewers that do view true crime in the community, because I want to hear what you think about this. And why do you think News Nation did not follow up on this story whenever the truth came out about who Dave was? And do these big news networks owe us the same, if not better, standards of actually investigating what they're told before they put it out? I mean, I know I hold myself to the standard. I'm going to be the one to make the call. I'm going to go look at the info and the facts, and I'm going to look at it myself personally. But don't you think that these bigger news networks owe it to us?
Well, they're claiming this is their job, right?
Right.
Come on. Be for real.
Eddie. You guys, if you have not gone over and subscribed to All Things Serious, you have no idea what you're missing. You have no idea what you're missing. Okay, let me present this, Sammy, real quick, just in case we do get a phone call.
I agree, Chris. Journalism has gotten sloppy all around. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh-oh. I just doxed myself. Everybody's going to know my name's Regina Wright.
Oh my God. Oh, Mamma Mia.
Absolutely, Chris. As Sammy was saying, yes, absolutely. And I think we all owe it to our viewers and our subscribers and the people that support us to at least take the initiative to make a dang phone call. You know what I mean? A phone call. Because you know what? That's all it would have taken to find out who Dave was. I mean, Hidden True Crime managed it, right?
Exactly.
And they did a fabulous job.
Yep.
If you go back and watch their video, at one part they even get Dave to do the, if you were going to kill someone and get away with it, how would you do it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, I don't know. I'm so concerned about the state of journalism, true crime, the way people cover it. And I'm not saying that people don't have their different styles. I mean, acting like they're covering true crime and faking things for clicks and views. It's a disservice to
Well, it's
every.
almost like a story comes along and they hurry up and hop on it, not knowing all of the facts and kind of waiting to see, what comes out next instead of actually, the way it used to work, you would do the footwork yourself. You would at least vet out some of the information.
Right. Exactly. I mean, why not follow up and just make that phone call? Like, are you really so busy you can't make a phone call while you're ordering your latte or in an elevator or between, on your afternoon jog with your headset? I mean, seriously? Literally, this week, I was told a whole bunch of false information from someone in a case. And I was like, hold up now. So I called the detective, the lead detective on the case. And now, because I did that, I know the facts of the case and the truth of what's going on, which is what I'm going to report to my community rather than the falsehoods and the lies that were told to me by people. You'll find out whenever I cover it in the story. But all it took was a phone call, you guys. We owe more to our true crime community if we're going to call ourselves true crimers. And it's not just YouTubers either. It's not just YouTubers. It's these big networks covering cases as well. It's all of us. It's sad too, because you know what, Sammy? I've seen so many brilliant people in and on the true crime community that are in it for the right reasons, that do cover these cases with conviction. And they fight amongst
Well,
each
see
other
here, look.
and
This is
stuff
how
over these cases.
this works. We actually do a program, then we step away and we keep following up on the things that we are working on. And if something else comes along that we feel needs our coverage, we look into that and we compile stuff together. So this means in all of this downtime, we're not on here for 16 hours a day. We're not on here every single day. We come periodically with pertinent information for the most part. Maybe we talk a little like we're doing today, but we're not going to be on there 24/7 every single day up in your face trying to get you to pay attention. We're out here putting out the information that we can find and gather and vet for all that we can to make sure that when we put this information out, it's information worth having, right? So when you see all of these other channels getting on here, bashing each other, they're on every single day, day after day after day, for 16 hours a day, you know, that tells you a lot about who they really are. Okay. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. I think you're muted.
And yes, I was. Thank you for letting me know that. Um, but what's worse is it gets to a point where people aren't even covering cases anymore. They're covering drama surrounding the cases and trying to figure out what's true and what's not, because
Right.
people have inserted themselves in these cases. And then we have people, bless their hearts. I know these people have the best intentions, but because they're being lied to by YouTubers, they're going and they're reporting the stuff to law enforcement that's going on these YouTube channels. So not only have YouTubers been discredited amongst their own viewers in true crime, but now we have, in case or if anything does happen that is legitimate that a YouTuber needs to report on, they don't want to hear what we have to say.
Yeah. Well, can you blame them? I mean, they're
No,
really,
I can't.
their
That's the
job,
problem.
ultimately, their job is to get down to the truth of what's happened to these victims, no matter what it is, whether they're missing, whether they've been killed, it just doesn't matter. It's them trying to get to the bottom of it. And then you have all these children out here going, hey, look, hey, look, hey, look. And then it has distracted them from the most important objective in the case. It's
The victim,
disgusting. Yes,
the
it
victim.
it makes me stark raving mad.
I feel the same way. And what's worse is whenever they do this stuff intentionally and they plant these collars and they say, "Oh, I'm going to report this," that's encouraging their community to report it as well. Do you recognize that, Sammy?
What?
Do you recognize that whenever these YouTubers say, "Oh, I've reported this," do you know how many other people are going to get on that and report it too, just so they make sure it's not overlooked?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know. I know. But this is the problem because it all really ends up being drama. It all ends up being nonsense that nobody has vetted. So there's no real fact. It's just all hearsay or what, they're hearing on the grapevine or some video they saw. They don't even know where it came from. Just all kinds of nonsense.
Yep. You guys, we want to hear what you think. Call into the show. The phone number is 870-266-6949. We want to know what you guys think. And it's okay, though. If none of y'all call in, I'm not going to fake a caller. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. That was a low blow. That was a low blow. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I apologize. I apologize. My phone's blowing up. Hold on just a second. I mean, it is rolling. Okay. Sorry. And make sure it wasn't family. Oh my goodness. Let me mute this real quick. I apologize. So, again, but that's still, I have this question regardless of what went down on YouTube. Like, why didn't News Nation ever follow up on it? Because let me tell you what, I've been on other channels and people still think that that was, in fact, Brian Koberger that called in to the show because it was where? News Nation.
it's just sad.
It just brings me back to my question. If anyone is out there and remembers or knows how it went viral, I would appreciate an email from you greatly. My email should pop up on the screen here in any second. We both did it.
Well, they'll have it.
Because I'm still trying, listen, I'm trying to figure out how anyone came to the conclusion to begin with that that was in fact Brian Koberger. I remember hearing all the people getting emails from T-REV, all these news broadcasting networks, getting a hold of. Do you remember that, Sammy? Were you in chat then when that was going down?
What? For which?
In T-REV's chat. Do you remember when the whole? Were you there? You came in at right after that, didn't you?
Somewhere around there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the sad
Yeah, I
part
know,
is,
Bratty.
It's something that honestly, when you go to a YouTube channel and they claim that they're talking about true crime, and you have these kind of questions for them, you would get reasonably an answer would be a good answer would be, look, we're looking into this and we're not for sure. We don't have the facts, and you're gonna have to wait because everybody wants information right now, like yesterday. So I understand, you know, people out there have questions, ask the questions. But when you get answers that verify to you that these people care about the information they're putting out, you're not going to get an answer right away unless they already know for a fact.
Yep,
So, what I'm
I
saying
agree
is
with
be
that.
mindful, be mindful of where you're going and the crap that's getting put out. Excuse my French, but, honestly, there's a lot of signs. And I got a pretty good gauge for that whenever I step into a place. And I gave T-REV chance twice, and after that I was like, nope, not doing it again. So I just walked away. But it just didn't seem right in there. It didn't seem like, I don't know, it just wasn't legit to me. And I walked away. So I wasn't in there very much for very long, you know. But when I did ask questions, the kind of answers I was getting just didn't make much sense. So I just kind of walked away. That's it.
Right. You know what? Something happened. I watched the live stream from Seth Rogers, and this is even a step further, you guys. It even goes a step further than that. And he was sitting there talking about how he had been somewhere and put flyers up and then went back, and the people had told him they took the flyers down because someone come in and said that Sebastian had been found. Well, do you know where that misinformation comes from? That Sebastian's found all the time? Okay, people saying remains found in Tennessee. Sebastian Rogers question mark. Like, no. They put it on their channels as clickbait and stuff. And then people really think it, and it's actually affecting these cases. Whenever someone sees remains found at St. Jude's, and there's the Sebastian Rogers case hashtag to it, people think, well, they found Sebastian Rogers if they don't go follow up on it, don't they?
Well, honestly, if NewsNation don't get it together and vet this information out before they go reporting it, they're not going to be any better than some gossipy tabloid. You know,
You know
I
what?
have I have
It's awfully
enjoyed.
funny though, Willette Harris, when you got to go to Chroma channels to get truth,
Er,
what people call Chroma channels, to find real answers,
but you're
and that
not
people
getting
are
real
lying.
answers. The only real answers you're getting is these people's personality,
Yeah, that's
what
true
they
too.
really are, what they're made of, and who they are. It's not real information.
Yeah,
And this was the icing on the cake, and it's not even really the tip of the iceberg, if you
not
ask
even
me.
close. I agree with you 100% on that, Sammy. It is not even the tip of the iceberg, not even close. I think it's a systemic problem.
Yeah.
A systemic problem. That's what I think. So,
But just get used to understanding the fact that, even someone who's really News Nation has made a big name for themselves. I have nothing against them, but this is
I
kind of a
watch News
letdown.
Nation. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I watch News Nation. This is a letdown for me
Yeah,
because,
me
like I
too.
said, and I'm not bashing. I'm not bashing. I'm just asking a legitimate question. Why was it never followed up on it?
And now it's
And
not being looked back on and
right,
corrected in any way.
none whatsoever. And there are still people out here that believe Brian Koberger made that phone call into a podcast.
Well, bratty little me, unfortunately, these YouTube creators that get out there and they want to be karma, they want to be creating and making fake news while they pass the time, they don't ever see charges. And, they really are, that hinders a lot of cases because you've got, in the end, these situations that come up, and then it creates a dilemma that the law enforcement has to deal with. But we're never going to see that happen. Can you imagine all these? I mean, y'all know, you've seen these channels and all the BS that's on them. You'd be at this for the next 100 years trying to catch up with these people and press charges.
Yeah, I agree with that too, Sammy. It would take, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
It would take a lot.
It's just a disgrace to the real true crime community. It is.
You're talented, Walt. You're talented.
Ah,
So, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. But it's everywhere. I mean, like I said, that like the news broadcast with Katie Proudfoot, the reporter, the way she says it is like it's a fact and there's nothing else to look into. They called 911 and it's on the slide, like. And then later we find out that the Proudfoots, guess what? They never called 911. They said as much on Nancy Grace. They didn't call 911. They called the sheriff's department. Why? Why did you call the sheriff's department instead of 911? Because we live in the county and we're not under the jurisdiction of the local police department. That's why we called 911. That's why we called the sheriff's office.
I call BS. I call BS. I think they were connected with somebody there, and that's how their little plan to go down was not to call 911, but call someone else specifically. So they knew exactly who they were talking to.
Yep.
And God only knows if it was actually recorded or not, right?
Who knows? There's a lot.
There's a lot of little nuances in there that people overlook that they're not aware of. This was maybe quite possibly a way to avoid the call being recorded, right?
Speaking of nuances, can you guys do me a favor? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Jennifer Soto should be held accountable in her daughter's death because she had knowledge of what happened. Just put a 1 in chat for me. If you feel that way. If you agree with that statement. Put it 2 if you don't.
Put your honest opinions. Nobody's judging you.
Yep.
We're just have a curiosity. We have to feel that need.
That's fair enough, Chris. That's fair enough. I covered it. It's in my videos if you want to go see it. I suspect because I actually made a video and showed the record and everything where Jennifer Soto said she seen Madeline alive that morning after we know for a fact she was dead. By the way, in her own sworn written hand statements and statements to the police. By the way, that's where I found that tidbit of information. Okay, so the funny thing about the Jennifer Soto, Madeline, and the Proudfoots and is today I'm going to make a whole bunch of people mad because I've already been working on it. You wouldn't believe how many times in their interviews Seth and Jennifer Soto said we on stuff now that apparently Jennifer is claiming no part of, and switched it over to he. And you wouldn't believe how many times I have it to compare to. The Proudfoot saying we. Whenever, guess what? Allegedly, Chris Proudfoot wasn't there whenever Sebastian went missing. And allegedly, Stephen Stearns didn't stay the night that Madeline was sadly ended. But Jennifer, just like the Chris and Katie and Seth were all up there, everything was we. Whenever one of them allegedly wasn't even there that night. And I remember pointing that out in those cases. And I mean, pointing it out whenever we were on the Madeline Soto. I pointed that out.
I'm sorry, but you don't lie about seeing your child getting dressed in the morning if you're not involved, knowing it already passed. So for me, that was the deal breaker as far as any chance of me thinking that she knew nothing. She told too many lies.
She told too many lies. I agree with that. And someone today said that it was nonsense that I was even comparing the two cases. But really, if you think about it, it's kind of ridiculous not to, considering in both cases, they're teenage kids. They went missing on the same day. They both had men in their household that were associated to them in a father figure role, that were not living in the residence or not allegedly at the residence whenever both of them come up missing in both cases. And the dynamics in the Proudfoot case, from what Seth has told us, is that Chris gave Katie an ultimatum, so they were on the rocks, allegedly. But we do know that he was in Memphis on a weekend. Or was he there that weekend? He
I
wasn't
don't
there
know.
allegedly that weekend, according to Katie, right? Just like allegedly Stephen Stearns didn't stay the night.
And this is where, stuff comes in that you have to attempt to put puzzle pieces together, and that means making some speculation, some assumptions, and some things that you hear or see even in the media, you must say it's just allegedly, because you don't know for a fact. So anything that I say about any of this is my opinion only, because it's all that we've got, as far as the information we do have. But when someone tells straight up, bold-faced lies about any one aspect of a child missing, I'm sorry, but that raises a lot of red flags for me. And they're not coming down till I've got some kind of something to back up what the truth really is to say. And I'm sorry, but that mama, she told too many lies about the morning.
You know what else, Sammy? That is one more thing I would like to point out about misinformation in the media. On one major news network, I heard that it was blunt force trauma that Madeline Soto died from. You remember I sent you the link?
Right.
And then it comes out on another major news network outlet that she died from strangulation. So which is
Right.
it?
Right. Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah. But it's really, really
So
hard when you're working towards truth for a victim and all of this junk comes up and these parents blatantly lie. It is very hard not to give them the side eye, my opinion.
yeah, I believe in pointing out things you see in cases with conviction, But I also believe in actually doing research, you guys. You know, I got annoyed and I got confused myself today, and I have to apologize to Vinnie Politan because I couldn't find what network it was on with T-REV. I got Vinny mixed up with Cuomo. So I owe Vinny an apology on that. I apologize for that,
You
Vinny.
gonna get a spanking, girl.
I know, I know. I deserve one. But I did that. But that's because I kept finding what you and Nicole and everyone else kept finding. I couldn't find the link. Every time I would try to find the link, it would say this is not available any longer. And I was like, what is going on here? Which is why I'm
Right.
glad you guys
Well,
actually found a link that
something,
worked.
that's another thing that bothers me though. Why just erase it altogether? Why not do another story on it stating, hey, look, you know, these are the facts with this surrounding this call, period. Kind of straighten it up, clean it up. Don't try to be, it's like they shut it down and they're running from it, which is bad news for all of us, you know?
Yep, it is. But what's worse news for us, Sammy, is even relying on major news outlets now, ain't it? For our information, if this is what they're going to report on and then not follow up with.
Well, I learned a long time ago not to rely on them. And that is why I'm in the YouTube community doing kind of how I do, you know. So I've learned a long time ago that from time to time, very inaccurate information, especially, you'd be surprised some of the reporters out there that say and do things not really knowing the facts at all because they're in a hurry to get this out.
Yep. I think, I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling entitled to information. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe I'm
yeah, I
feeling
mean, and
entitled.
that happens with all of us. I think we get so involved in trying to help find the truth that we forget the boundaries that there are and the important work that is being done through law enforcement for the majority of these cases. That these law enforcement people, whether they're investigators or just straight up taking reporting, through law enforcement in general, that we get lost in realizing we are not entitled to any of this information at all. And that's what I think ends up leading these people to do the crap they're doing on YouTube because they get tired of waiting. But the fact is, these cases take time if they don't go cold.
Exactly. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I completely
And
agree
I,
with
d-
you.
I do think that it is with the fear that these things will go cold is why people panic, why they get into this, hurried mess to try to keep putting stuff out because they don't want it to get lost. They don't want it to be forgotten. But remember something, I mean, the bad info, look at where we're at now. It's really
Yep.
sad.
Yep.
Hello, Justin.
So the phone number is 870-266-6949. If you would like to call in, we welcome your phone call. If not, Sammy, I think it's time to sign off soon. I know you
Yeah.
have things you need to attend to.
Hmm.
So,
Oh, yeah. But ultimately, we just wanted to kind of gather together and have a little chit chat about this and give some opinion on it besides just reporting on cases and stuff. Because this is our community and we are affected by it. How very little you want to believe that, that's up to you, but it affects all of us. Bad behavior affects all of us.
yep, that's exactly. And just be careful. Like, make sure if you are going to go one place and look into a story, just for yourselves, you guys, go somewhere else and look into it too. Don't just rely on one source for your information.
Yeah,
And
go all
go
over. Don't
look.
let somebody tell you where you can and cannot go, too.
Exactly. Yes, we have a members on, I mean, not a members only. We do have a members only Discord, but we also have a subscribers Discord. Everyone is free to
It's
join
free.
that Discord. We don't do anything but cover true crime. On the Discord, we do have talk rooms for different things, for general chat and stuff like that, where you can just pop in and hang out with the community. It is on our community page. As a matter of fact, I'll post another link to it right now.
And you're welcome to
Um,
come in there and mention any case that you want and any case you're interested in talking about or looking into. You're allowed to bring that in there. It's up to you. Maybe what we have in there is not, up your alley and you're interested in something else, something local to you, whatever it might be. Bring it forward. We're there.
I'm posting the link right now.
But it's free. It won't cost you nothing.
The rules of the server are there. Please read them before you come into chat and everything. And you do have to verify your account before you can come into the Discord.
This is just for everyone's safety.
Yes, it is. It's only for everyone's safety. Because we don't want no trolls either. I'm going to be real and keep it 100 with you. We have one dedicated troll that is beloved by our community, that is welcome. And he's also a moderator of mine. But he's like, you guys, he has made trolling a fine art. I cannot knock him for what he does. So
I don't like the word troll. I don't like trolls. But we got Walt Harris. He's a divine individual.
yes, he is. He is amazing. We love Walt. However you say it. He says his name's Walt, but
I think
I'll
he's
never
very
forget him being
entertaining.
our very own Malat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, he
with that
brings a
said, you
lot of
guys,
laughs to the table.
yeah, he does. We're not getting any calls, and that's cool. Still don't mean I'm gonna fake them. Sorry, I did it again. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I think, Sammy, that's kind of a good place to leave it at.
Yep. I
And
agree.
let you go get your stuff done that you got to do, and I got to go get my stuff done that I got to do. So
I
I would
love
just like
y'all.
to say
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you, everybody, for coming and showing up. Go ahead and share this if you want to.
I would greatly appreciate it if you did. And you know what? Regardless of everything, I will say this. I personally, as much as I don't like what he's done, how he's treated me and how he's treated others, I kind of do have T-REV to thank for having a YouTube channel, because if he hadn't done me and Low 12 and Sammy and so many of us wrong, we wouldn't have a channel right now, because we would probably still be over there hand feeding him information on cases. So thank you, T-REV, for that. Good and everything bad. There's a little good in everything bad, right? Right. So with that said, you guys, please hit that like and subscribe and share. It's not mandated, but it is appreciated. Lock your windows and your doors and stay vigilant out here, because these streets are crazy. All of them. And it is up to us to be vigilant and be our own best line of defense, whether it comes to true crime or real life. Share a smile and save a life. You never know, the life you save might even just be your own. And with that said, you guys, blessings and good night.